A very good morning, South Africa, and let us take a look on what general South Africans are thinking about a GNU. And this is very important because it gives us insight. It gives us an opportunity to understand the minds of South Africans when it comes to the issues of a GNU in South Africa, or possibly a DA coalition together with the ANC. So this one is saying also the South Africans are rooting for ANC, EFF, MKP coalition. And this is the popular demand at this point in time. A lot of South Africans in various WhatsApp groups, Facebook, X, everywhere on Instagram, they are demanding that South Africa does have ANC, EFF, and MKP coalition. This is what they are asking for. And this is point number one. Point number two, okay, this is not talking about the issue of a coalition. Let us go on another one, which is talking about coalition. And I'm judging you as a black person if you don't support the ANC, EFF, MKP coalition, which means this is an agreement. Another one says, this is the time we rejected the DA's outdated politics and support the ANC, EFF, MKP coalition. And this is an agreement. A lot of people are agreeing to a coalition of these three parties. Another one says the DA is aware that ANC, EFF, MKP is the only way to go. We cannot let them take our power. We can't let racists make decisions for our country. This is another one, which means this is a general agreement in terms of who should lead in South Africa after the elections. Someone says if DA wants unity among South Africans, why are they against the ANC, EFF, MKP coalition? This is a very important question. Government of national unity, while black have the majority, is an insult and a slap on the face of the poor. They fear ANC, EFF, MKP coalition because of the real radical economic transformation to empower Africans and the blacks in particular. What a cowardly move by the ANC, NEC. Yes. Another one says, ANC of Ramaphosa, Ngibasani Abelungu, ANC, EFF, MKP, this is an agreement right there of what should happen. Another one says, no ANC DA coalition will be allowed. We can't compromise our democracy. We are only behind the ANC, EFF, MKP coalition. These are the demands of South Africans. Another one saying, the people united will never be defeated. ANC, EFF, MKP all the way. And this is very important to note. So another one says, a coalition of complete black unity would slap and would be a game changer for even generations to come. We can live without DA. We must fight for what's ours. We need to cut them out and have a coalition of ANC, EFF, MKP. Okay. This one says, we are behind ANC, EFF, MKP. We won't allow division. We will stand together as blacks. Then another one says, the fact is clear. The DA views the ANC, EFF, MKP combination as a formidable force, which is why they resort to excuses. Let us look past the smoke screens and work together for progress. And another one says, we don't need DA to succeed. ANC, EFF, MKP coalition is the future we want. These are South Africans giving their own views, having a conversation about what needs to happen. Another one says, the ANC, EFF, MK coalition is the embodiment of African unity and strength. It's time for the DA to step aside and let true progress take root in South Africa. Yes, different views, but different people, but same view. They're saying DA not wanting EFF and MKP is wild. We can see through it. They want to be in coalition with the ANC so they break it from inside and be the sole governor. It won't work. We want ANC, EFF, MKP. Another one says, Oxalayo, ANC, EFF, MKP coalition is what matters now. Another one says, the DA must leave the government. Long live ANC, EFF, MKP coalition. Another one says, ANC, EFF, MKP coalition is the voice of the black unity and progress in South Africa. We cannot afford to let the DA continue its neglect of black communities. Let's cancel the DA and pave the way for the government that works for all South Africans. So these are the same views. Different people, same views. Another one says, do you support the ANC, EFF, MKP coalition? This is a question right there. Another one says, South Africa is at the crossroads. One direction with the ANC, DA, and FF will take us straight into apartheid days. The other direction with the ANC, EFF, and MKP will provide the country the golden opportunity to reset and prioritize all the elements of transformation. Another one says, the people have spoken. We support ANC, EFF, MKP coalition or nothing. Another one right here says, 30 years after our democracy, we find ourselves at the helm of it being threatened by the ANC-DA coalition. We can't allow it to happen. Only ANC, EFF, MKP coalition should be allowed. And another one says, the ANC, EFF, MKP coalition is dedicated to the upliftment of Black South Africans. We need their vision and strength in government, not the divisive DA. So this is what's happening. A lot of South Africans, they're supporting the coalition between the ANC, the EFF, and the MKP, not the one with DA, not the GNU, which they're trying to force onto the people, which they're trying to pin onto the people. If you take a look on the time which was taken in terms of deciding or deliberating the NEC outcome, it shows that there were so many disagreements there. And it was a very, very, very tough moment for Ramaphosa. And, he had to do the bidding for his masters. That is the reason why it took so long. Another one says, the strongest future for South Africa lies with the ANC, EFF, MKP coalition. The DA knows this and fears it. Another one says, we want a coalition of Black unity, one that is progressive and about equality. We want an ANC, EFF, MKP coalition, not the DA that's forever twerking for the US. Okay. So the truth is clear. The DA sees ANC, EFF, MKP alliance as a formidable force, hence their resort to excuses. Let's see through the smoke screens and unite for progress. So these are South Africans. South Africans actually standing in solidarity with their parties, with their Black parties. They have the majority. These three parties, they constitute 63% of the total vote. And they cannot, at any point in time, be directed and be governed by the minority. It can't happen in such a way. So at a certain point in time, we have to stand in solidarity with each other. This is the same message right here. Everybody is supporting a coalition between the three parties. So why is it that there are certain people hell-bent to decide otherwise? Why is it that there are certain elements who are fighting hard to make sure that they isolate South Africans from this is a very important issue? So we cannot allow it to happen because it will serve, this ANC-DA thing will serve the interest of just a few individuals. So I trust that the MK and the EFF are going to stand their ground and refuse to get into that kind of GNU because it will not serve the interests of Blacks, it will serve the interests of the minority, and that cannot be let to happen. So this is what is happening, and it's very important to note that this is the direction which must be taken. I have seen a lot of people who say all sorts of names, but let us remember how Maiman was removed from the DA. He was kicked out by these racists because he was Black. They kicked him out. And now that Steenhuisen is even go below than Mmusi Maimane, why is he not being kicked out? They blamed Mmusi to say, you went below, that is the reason why we removed you. But Steenhuisen has gone far below than in the past. Why is it that they are with him? He lost more than 300,000 votes. 300,000 votes which were lost by Steenhuisen. Who does that? And he is still there, but a Black man was kicked out. So you will see that the reason why we are against these people is because they are racist. Steenhuisen stated it clearly in an interview that he will not tolerate working together with the MK, with the EFF. It's because he hates Blacks, he hates melanin. That is a fact. So I believe that at a certain point in time, we need to tell each other the truth. Let us bring that video right here. A lot of people say we are lying. Let us bring the video.
Looking at these results, are you ready for coalition talks now with the ANC?
Well, I think it's still premature, and we remember are part of something called the Multi-Party Charter, which is a group of 11 parties that signed a pre-election pact. We obviously will have to sit and look at what the results were for those parties to see what is possible for us to cobble together, either at provincial level or potentially nationally, whether we can widen the broad spectrum of the charter to include parties who weren't part of it beforehand. But that'll be the first port of call. If that's not enough to form a majority anywhere, we'll obviously then have to move on to the next chapter, which is looking at how do we collectively look to form a stable government. I think there comes a time when you have to put the country's interests first, and you need to act in the best interests of the country. I think instability is not in the best interests of the country. A coalition with the radical left in South Africa, of the MK party and the EFF, will produce the same policies that destroyed Zimbabwe, destroyed Venezuela, and we want to avoid that. And we believe that we need to then build a rational centre to be a bulwark against those radicals from getting into power.
And time is of the essence because Parliament needs to sit within 14 days of the final results being announced. So you really don't have that much time to make a decision. Have you started any kinds of talks with the ANC at the moment?
No, I think the ANC is still in a state of shock. I think that they were campaigning right up until election day with the fact that they were going to get over 50%. It looks like they're going to end up closer to 41%. Significantly short of a majority. So I think they're still coming to terms with that. But I imagine that once the reality sets in, they will start reaching out to various parties across the spectrum. And they're going to have to make a choice. Do they go in with radicals who are going to take the economy down the terrible road towards radical socialism, or are they going to choose to partner with more rational parties? But I think that those things will start to become clearer in the days ahead once the results are finalized and once parties start to see the cards that have been dealt.
And quickly, of course, the EFF and MK will challenge those perceptions. But in terms of what the ANC could offer you, what would be your requirements from the ANC?
Well, it's still too early to say. I mean, we don't even know who we're going to be dealing with. Is President Ramaphosa going to survive being the first president of his party to lose their majority? The jury's still out on whether he's going to. I mean, who are we talking to? Paul Mashatile, corruption accused, someone I've laid criminal charges against. So all these things need to become clear in the days ahead. But certainly, non-negotiables for us would be respect for the rule of law and the Constitution, a social market economy that treats the private sector as partners in the growth agenda, a zero tolerance for corruption and cadre deployment, and an absolute laser-like focus on economic policies that grow jobs.
So they are clear that they want to have privatization at play. This is the problem of the DA. They want every entity to get into the private hands. And, this will not benefit the South Africans. It will still benefit a few individuals. It will still benefit these crooks. So this is the reason why you see there is massive resistance from the people of South Africa, and the people of South Africa are speaking in one voice. What do we do? Let us stand with the people